Instead of binge watching yet another show on Netflix, why not spend the time when you're stuck at home anyway to make sure that you're fit and your touch is sharp so you can be better than everyone else when you're back on the pitch? Well, that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. So today I called up my mate 7MLC, who will give us a few tips on a daily training football routine that you can do so you're better than everyone else. And I figured if it's good enough for a pro bowler like him, then it's also good enough for me. So Michael, thanks for joining me all the way from overseas.
Yes, I would rather be there, but...
How are you coping with all this madness? Because you gotta stay at home too, right?
Yeah, I gotta stay home. Thankfully, we are still able to go out by ourselves and exercise a bit. So I've been getting a little bit of pitch action in, and that's kind of been my therapy, I suppose, getting some touches on the ball still. So it's keeping me good for now, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. This is a quickly evolving situation, so...
It's driving you insane, isn't it? You just have to, you have to stay inside. You can't go and play with your mates and all that stuff. Anyway, I wanted to reach out to you because I thought to myself, I need to do some workout at home. Obviously, you can tell it's not the thing I do the most. So I just gotta stay active at home. And I figured of all the pro players I wanted to reach out to, you were the guy because you do a lot of this stuff on a regular basis. So what is your best routine on how to stay sharp and ready for the new season,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging. I think two things you need to be able to train by yourself, and especially now at home, you need a little bit of creativity to see your space that you have and envision it as a training facility. But I think most of all, you just need the drive because you're at home, you don't have a coach, you don't have a trainer, but no one there to keep you accountable, so you kind of have to be accountable for yourself. So having that drive just to put in the work every day, there's always something you can do. So the 5 things I've been focusing on, first thing is cardio, because it's difficult. You're not running around a pitch. Usually you don't need to do much cardio as a footballer outside of playing because such a big field, such a big space, you're getting a lot of work in. So finding ways to increase your heart rate is really important. A couple of things I've been doing is skipping. I've got a skipping rope. Sometimes I'll just do high knees on the spot. Something like that. Jumping jacks is great. If you can get access to a treadmill, fine, but you can do a lot of stuff by yourself at home, a lot of high intensity workouts, HIIT workouts and things like that. Just some way to get your heart rate up to a workout level. It's not easy to do, but if you have a little bit of drive, a little bit of passion for it, it's easy enough to do for sure.
So you don't necessarily need to go for a run. I know some countries are so locked down that you can't even go outside to run. We still can in Denmark for now, but it's not essential to go running. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, not essential. If you can, great, because that's just the easiest way possible, but there is a lot you can do at home. There's plenty of exercises that kind of mimic a running technique. Like I was saying, high knees, driving your arms really intense. You can do fast feet on the spot. You can do bounds from side to side. There's a lot of actions in the game that you can mimic at home in just a small space.
So this is kind of like the first, what do we call, part that you need to do. You need to focus on your cardio. That's what you could start with. You can kind of get warmed up and stuff. How long do you need to do this for on a daily basis?
I like to do circuits. So I like to include all 4 elements of the exercise that I'm going to share. So I like to do a round of cardio. Maybe I'll do it for about a minute straight at a pretty high pace, get that heart rate up. And then I'll move into something like fast feet. Something that's great for me, I like to put socks down and create my own agility ladder. So not everyone has access to a ladder, or they might not have space in their home to put a full ladder out. So I like to line up some socks, get some fast feet in there. You can go 2 feet in going forwards. You can go laterally from side to side. You can get the icky shuffle going. It's actually a great workout doing that, going 10 reps through, straight after doing a minute of cardio. It's a good leg burner.
So basically you want to do cardio, then you want to do some fast feet workout. You can use socks, you can use toilet rolls, I guess, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Basically be a little bit, just use what you have at home, right? Because that's the key. We see all the pros having all these treadmills and, little home gyms, basically. I don't, for one, and I don't think a lot of the guys out there do. So putting out socks, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
So basically you do that. How long do you do that for? Also a minute?
So I usually go 10 reps through, so whichever exercise I might do. So if I've done a minute of skipping, I'll go into 10 reps of going forwards, and then I'll move into some strength. So keeping the body strong is really important, especially now you're not getting that same level of training that you're usually getting. Keeping the body strong is so important, injury prevention and also performance enhancing. So a few exercises I like to do to keep the entire body strong. One is wall sits. It's a great exercise where you just put your back up against the wall, put your knees in a 90-degree position and hold it there as long as you can. I like to do minute rounds of that. Yeah, it's tough.
Mate, that stings.
It's tough. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That gets the entire leg. You feel every fiber in your leg just contracting and wanting a rest. So that's a really tough one, really good for building those leg muscles. I like to do a plank as well, good for the entire core, keeping that core strength so important, often overlooked as well by a lot of players. So you need to keep the body strong from a core perspective because that helps the entire body work more effectively. So the core is, it's like the center of your performance, I would say that. So keeping that strong and tight, very important.
Right. But these sound pretty static, these movements. Do you also do some, you know, like, I see all these, do you do burpees or lunges or something like that?
Yeah, so I like to do rounds of both lunges, like normally, and then I like to do explosive rounds, so more plyometric, so a little jump after you perform the lunge, really exploding into the air. That's mimicking a lot of the game of football as well, when you're jumping up for headers, when you're sprinting, trying to synchronize my arm movements with my leg movements as well. Trying to keep the body in synchronization, very important, because those body mechanics can be lost if you're away from the game for a long time. So I'll do that with squats as well. I might just squat down without any force, just my body weight, and then I might do some jump squats as well. So if you can find a way to do both a strength activity in a plyometric way as well, that's fantastic. And also make sure you're doing some upper body, so push-ups are great. You can do some tricep dips, you can use a chair, just lower yourself slowly. There's so many different activities you can do at home to keep that entire body strong. And the body is enough to keep it strong. So it's not the most fun, like I say, it's kind of, it's when no one's watching and you're still willing to put in the work. And a lot of people see it as, people see this opportunity as it's taking away your training time, but I think as an athlete, you're always facing challenges throughout your entire career, and this is just another challenge. Challenges aren't there to stop you from training, they create an obstacle to show you what you're willing to overcome. So if you're willing to train when no one's looking, when no coach is there, then you know you really want it. So I think this is a good test for all of us who are striving to the next level.
That's pretty good, yeah, because that's what I was about to say, you know. You gotta really want this. I mean, everybody wants to train at home, and you really wanna, you know, you wanna tell yourself that, okay, I've done my part today. It's okay. I can go and sit and binge watch some shows now. But you gotta also do it tomorrow and the day after to actually get something from this, right?
Yeah, consistency is everything. I think some people think they need this really, really good workout, this incredibly intense session, that's fantastic, but it's about just showing up every single day, doing a little something every single day, kind of getting your body used to having training as a routine, kind of like brushing your teeth. You do it every day because of the consequences of not brushing your teeth. Same with training. If you don't train every day, there's going to be consequences. There's somebody else training every single day, you're going to get left behind a little bit.
So let's say we have the physical stuff down. We have the cardio, we have the fast feet, we also have the core strength work. But you also gotta stay sharp on the ball.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's probably more important for you, who's you're a very technical player. I just rely on luck basically when I'm on the ball. But you gotta stay friends with the ball during this time, right?
That's the perfect way to put it. Stay friends with the ball. The ball and you, it's like a relationship. So the more time you spend with somebody in a relationship, usually you're better friends, you know? So the more time you spend with the ball, usually that relationship's a lot stronger. You're going to be a lot more fluid on the ball. So 3 things I like to do, and this is something that anybody can do because you don't need any space for it whatsoever. I know some people have more space than others. You can set up dribbling drills and things like that. But at least do these 3 things. I would say juggling. It's a great thing. Although you don't juggle in a match, it's still learning how the ball reacts off your body when you hit it with a certain part of it. And that's great for your first touch, you know? So if you hit it with a part of your foot and it bounces away, you realize, okay, maybe this isn't the best part of my foot to control the ball with. Same with your thigh, same with your chest. So if you can use all those different parts of the body, do some juggling every day, you're gonna learn how that ball reacts in the air. Very important. Another thing I do, and I'm a big one for this, I know you know this, but ball mastery is huge for me. I'm really big on the ball mastery, learning how the ball reacts off the different surface areas of your foot while it's on the ground. So using the sole, using the inside of the foot, outside of the foot, There's so many different movements you can do, and I've put thousands and thousands of different exercises out there because I've been using ball mastery since I'm a young player, and I know how pivotal it's been for me in my development as a player. So this is a great time, and I think people are going to really learn during this time if they take on ball mastery how effective it is, because it's kind of forcing you to do something more creative with the ball now. Now you're stuck inside. So I think ball mastery is going to be really effective for a lot of players during this time.
So just to explain ball mastery here, obviously I've seen all your videos, I know what it's about, but as I understand it, you basically just gotta go out there and manipulate the ball with your sole. Do, you know, like sole rolls back and forth, you know, with the outside of your foot. Do a little dribble courses only with the outside of your foot, then do it with the inside of your foot. Basically, try to manipulate the ball in any way, standing still, moving through some obstacles possible. Is that right?
Yeah, perfect. You can do it, like you were saying, in little courses. You can use objects to test the accuracy of your touch, or you can do it with no equipment whatsoever and just learn how to use the ball with the sole of your foot, with the outside of your foot. You can do V-cuts, L-drags, you can do inside to inside, like a La Croqueta movement. There's so many different things you can do, step overs inside. And it's just getting as many touches as you possibly can, because like we talked about before, the more touches you get on the ball, it just strengthens that relationship. And your confidence in those tight space situations is going to help you with your dribbling, with your control of the ball, manipulating. If a defender sticks their leg in, you can quickly manipulate the ball around their foot because you've done it 100 times on your own.
That sounds pretty good. You can do all of this inside. What if you have a backyard? Can you also go outside and just, let's say, do some ball-bound shots?
Yeah.
To get that first touch in?
That was my next one. Another one you can do is working on your first touches using a wall. So most people have a wall in their house. I'm not sure if everybody's allowed to kick the ball at the wall in their house. Yeah, so maybe not everyone's in that situation, but if you are, this is a great way to keep your touch sharp and keep putting that ball at the wall, learning how to take it with the outside of the foot, the inside of the foot. It doesn't have to be anything fancy at all, and to be honest, the simpler the better. I always use this as the foundation. So your first touch and your passing is the foundation. That is the core of your ability. Everything else stems from that. You can have great step overs, you can have great skills, a great shot, but if your first touch isn't sharp, you're going to lose the ability to use all of those special tools that you have. So first touch and passing, it's the #1 skill of football. It's the bread and butter. So you can just work on this by playing 1-touch passes off the wall, 2-touch, as I said, taking with the outside of your foot across your body, inside of your foot across the body, Cruyff control. You can just get creative with this one. And you can be there for an hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could be there for an hour.
And the longer the better, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, so the last thing I think we should focus on is also that you can't play football all the time. You know, something also happens, at least inside my head, because if I go for 3 weeks, I'm on holiday and I come back to playing football, it's like I'm lacking a little bit of that game intelligence. How can you stay sharp on that?
Yeah,
you must also know this.
It's tough, yeah, especially now, because like you were saying, you can stay fit, you can stay sharp on the ball, but in a game of football, you're having different situations to respond to all the time. So you might be really fit and agile, but your brain might be slow, you know what I mean? You're not used to processing that information quickly. So something that's been great for me that I've done before, and especially now, is just watching full-length football matches. I think a lot of us want to watch the highlights. A lot of us are busy people, so you want to get the highlights, you want to get the best out of the game. But now we really have an opportunity to sit down and watch a full-length 90-minute match. There's so many of them on YouTube. You can find so many full-length matches online. We're very lucky in this day and age to have that access. And you can sit there with a notepad and watch your favorite players, not only what they do on the ball, but keep track of what they're doing off the ball. How many times are they scanning their shoulder? What spaces are they checking into and why? Did they check into that space to receive the ball, or was it to free up space for somebody else? Have an analytical mind when you're watching the game of football. So I would really recommend it. We have a lot of time on our hands now, and we have a great opportunity where we can just watch a full-length match. And I'd recommend that to anybody. Sit down with your notebook, look at your favorite player who plays in your position for that team, and just analyze every single movement that they make. Really study the game, be a student of the game. This is really going to help you when you get back. You're going to be a lot more game intelligent, just like you were saying, JayMike.
So just to sum up here, Michael, you basically said, go do some cardio work, either go for a run if you can, or get your pulse up. Then you wanted to do some fast feet. you wanted to do some strengthening, you wanted to do some ball mastery. Potentially, if you have a wall, you can go and shoot the ball against, go out and work on your first touch, and then finally sit down, spend some of the time, sit down with a nice cup of tea or whatever, and a notepad, enjoy yourself, watch some football, have a good time, but also focus and learn how to become a smarter player, because at the end of the day, that's also a lot what matters. Is that...
Definitely, especially the cup of tea part. That's very important.
Yeah. I've been British and all. That is the 7 MLC toolbox on how to stay sharp when you're locked down.
Just creativity and a little bit of drive, and you'll be good.
I think the drive is the important part here. Michael, thank you so much, mate. Appreciate it. I'm sending you like a virtual lockdown knuckle, pro knuckle here. But good to hear. Stay sharp out there, wash your hands, and be safe. And hopefully football is back soon so we can meet up and actually play some football together again.
I'm very much looking forward to it. Thanks, JayMike.
All right, mate.
All right, see you soon.
Later, yeah. So there you have it, guys. A really solid training session that you can do to stay in shape at home. Of course, the only limit here is your imagination, but it's a very good way to start. But if you have other creative ideas on what you can do at home, you should let us know in the comment section right down below. Now, of course, also don't forget that if you don't want to use toilet rolls or socks as your training gear, you can buy all the training gear and apparel you need by clicking the link to unisportstore.com right over there. Of course, also don't forget to go and show Michael some love by subscribing to his channel right down there. And then if you want to train even more and become an even better footballer, hit up the playlist right down there. With that said, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.